Imagine it's 3:17 a.m. Your room is freezing cold. There's a red light glowing in the corner. Supplements are lined up on your nightstand. Your smartwatch is tracking your deep sleep score. And yes, your mouth is taped shut. You're not sick. You're not crazy. You're just trying the latest viral trend called Sleepmaxxing. In 2026, millions of people are optimizing their sleep, stacking magnesium, taking melatonin every night, mouth taping, biohacking their bedrooms, all in the name of better recovery and higher performance. But now, some doctors are warning that this trend could actually disrupt your hormones, increase anxiety, and damage your natural sleep cycle. So is sleepmaxing the ultimate performance hack? Or is it just another dangerous internet experiment? Let's break it down. Subscribe to The Health Reason for science-backed health truths that actually protect your body. 1. What is sleepmaxing? Sleepmaxing is not just about getting 8 hours of sleep. It's about engineering sleep. It's the idea that your natural sleep isn't good enough, that with the right tools, supplements, temperature control, breathing hacks, and tracking devices, you can turn your body into a high-performance recovery machine. At first glance, this sounds intelligent, strategic, even disciplined. The modern sleepmaxing routine often looks like this. You dim all lights after sunset. You wear blue light blocking glasses. You drop your room temperature below 65 degrees. You take magnesium glycinate, maybe some glycine, maybe L-theanine, sometimes melatonin. You tape your mouth to force nasal breathing. You track your heart rate variability. You monitor REM percentage. You check deep sleep duration. Then in the morning you open your app, and your sleep is scored. That score becomes validation, or disappointment, and that's where the psychological hook begins. Because sleepmaxing doesn't just promise better sleep, it promises control. In a world where productivity is everything, sleep has become another performance metric. Instead of asking, "Do I feel rested?" people ask, "Did I hit 90% recovery?" Instead of trusting their body, they trust a wearable device. But here's the truth. Sleep is not a machine you upgrade with accessories. It's a biological rhythm regulated by light exposure, stress levels, hormones, and nervous system balance. When you begin manipulating every variable at once, you're not optimizing one system. You're interfering with multiple systems simultaneously, and sometimes the body doesn't respond well to interference. Sleepmaxing feels scientific, but sometimes it's just overcomplicated sleep. Why doctors are concerned? Sleep specialists aren't worried because people care about sleep. They're concerned because of overcorrection. There's a difference between improving habits and forcing biology. When sleep becomes something you try to dominate instead of support, unintended consequences can appear. Let's go deeper into the 3 biggest medical concerns. Mouth taping risks. Mouth taping is based on the idea that nasal breathing is superior to mouth breathing during sleep. And yes, nasal breathing can help with humidity, regulation, and nitric oxide production. But here's the issue. Many people don't know whether they have mild sleep apnea, a deviated septum, chronic sinus inflammation, or restricted airways. If airflow through the nose is limited and the mouth is taped shut, oxygen intake can decrease, and oxygen deprivation during sleep is not minor. It stresses the cardiovascular system. It increases nighttime awakenings. It can elevate heart rate. It may even worsen undiagnosed breathing disorders. The scariest part? Some people feel more tired and assume they need more hacks, instead of realizing the hack itself may be the issue. Mouth taping without medical supervision turns a breathing experiment into a potential risk factor. Sleep should increase oxygen efficiency, not challenge it. Melatonin misuse. Melatonin is often marketed like a harmless sleep vitamin, but it's a hormone. Your brain releases melatonin naturally when it detects darkness. It signals your body that it's time to wind down. When you take melatonin regularly in supplement form, especially in high doses, you override your internal timing system. Over time, this can shift your circadian rhythm, reduce natural melatonin sensitivity, cause morning grogginess, create psychological reliance. Many people begin at 1 then 3 mg, then 5 mg, because tolerance builds. But here's what most don't realize. More melatonin does not mean better sleep quality. In fact, excessive melatonin can fragment sleep and alter REM cycles. The body prefers rhythm over force. If your sleep environment and stress levels are off, melatonin won't fix the root cause. It may simply mask it. Supplement stacking. Supplement stacking is one of the fastest growing trends in sleepmaxing. The logic is simple. If one calming supplement works, 5 must work better. But biology doesn't operate on stacking logic. Magnesium relaxes muscles. Ashwagandha influences cortisol. L-theanine increases alpha brainwaves. Glycine may reduce core temperature. Individually, some of these may support relaxation. But combined, they can overly sedate the nervous system. This may cause lowered blood pressure, dizziness, morning brain fog, reduced natural alertness, and perhaps the biggest issue, psychological dependency. When someone believes they cannot sleep without their stack, their brain associates sleep with external input, not internal regulation. That belief alone increases anxiety, and anxiety is one of the strongest disruptors of deep sleep. 3. The hidden psychological trap. Here's what most sleepmaxing videos don't talk about. Sleep anxiety. When you track everything, measure everything, optimize everything, you unintentionally create pressure. Pressure activates cortisol. Cortisol increases alertness. Alertness delays sleep. Now you're in bed thinking, am I getting enough deep sleep? What if my HRV drops? Why is my score lower than yesterday? Your body senses evaluation, and evaluation is stress. Sleep requires surrender. You cannot force deep sleep. You allow it. When sleep becomes a performance competition, especially influenced by social media, it stops being restorative and starts being monitored, and monitoring can feel like judgment. The nervous system doesn't relax under judgment. It relaxes under safety. Sleepmaxing often removes the feeling of safety. Instead of calm darkness, you have red lights. Data, supplements, tracking apps, temperature control strategies. Your bedroom becomes a lab, not a sanctuary, and your brain knows the difference. The more variables you manipulate, the more signals your nervous system must process. Deep sleep requires minimal stimulation, minimal interference, minimal evaluation. The paradox? Trying too hard to sleep well can actually reduce sleep quality, and that's what concerns many experts most, for what actually improves sleep. Here's the truth that doesn't go viral. Consistency beats complexity. Your circadian rhythm, your internal body clock, is built around patterns. Light exposure in the morning, gradual darkness at night, regular sleep times, reduce stimulation before bed. You don't need extreme cold temperatures. You don't need 6 supplements. You don't need a perfect sleep score. You need rhythm. When you wake up at the same time every day, your body anticipates sleep. When you get natural sunlight within 30 minutes of waking, your brain anchors your circadian clock. When you stop caffeine 6-8 hours before bed, your nervous system has time to slow down naturally. When you reduce screens before sleep, melatonin rises on its own. These are not hacks. They are biological agreements with your body, and they work because they reduce stress, not add more control. The body loves predictability. Sleep thrives on safety. If you want deeper sleep, lower mental stimulation, lower artificial light exposure, lower late-night stress input. Instead of asking, how can I optimize sleep? Ask, how can I remove what's disrupting it? That shift changes everything. Look, sleepmaxing isn't entirely evil. If it encourages you to dim the lights, reduce screens, and care about recovery, and that's positive. But when sleep becomes an obsession, when you start experimenting with hormones, when you rely on pills instead of patterns, that's when optimization turns into disruption. Your body has been sleeping naturally for thousands of years. It doesn't need extreme hacks. It needs stability. It needs consistency. It needs less stimulation, not more control. If you want real health advice backed by science and not just viral trends, subscribe to The Health Reason, because in a world full of health hacks, you deserve health facts. And if you've tried sleepmaxing, comment below and tell me what happened. Let's separate hype from science together.